Hello guys and welcome back. So the sim is now done. I'm gonna copy the path and import the particles. Let's hit play. And there's our stuff. Cool. So this is the points, and currently we don't have any way of visualizing them. They're all black, and I'm going to use a node called particle fluid surface. And this is a node that we can use to convert this into a mesh and or visualize the points using something similar to what we had in DOPS. So instead of a surface polygon soup, I'm going to change this to particles. And this won't do anything at the moment, which is what I want. I'm going to change this visualize node drop down to velocity. Okay, and let's copy this guy. So we have a preview of it. I'm going to paste the node. I'm going to Control Shift click on this to give me a copy, so I can see a copy of the geometry. And let's right click and do a flipbook of this. And you can see the domain is holding up all the particles except the top there. When they're heading there, they're actually dying. They're not colliding, so we have to expand this until we get these splashes and everything contained, or increase this to account for the entire size of the scene. Right now this is about 20 meter, I think, which is a realistic scale. I wanted to go for a mid-sized scene, and it's very important to respect the meter or the units of Houdini when building a scene. It's very crucial when doing flip sims. Cool, so this is our first flip sim. Now let's take a look at converting this into a mesh. So under the, I'm going to copy this. Instead of convert to particles, I'm going to convert it into a surface polygon, and this is going to mesh the points, and it's going to give us a few options here to control from. Well, it's also using the velocity to change the color of the mesh, and this is now converted, and it's the adaptivity is basically it tries to place the polygons based on how complex the curvature of the mesh is, and if it's a flat surface it places only few points. If it's a surface that needs a lot of details, you can see there, it will place more points in there. So let's change this to 1. This is for the transfer. So what's happening is when this mesh gets created, set this to none, it does not have any attributes, but internally inside of this node there is an attribute transfer that happens between the particles from here into this mesh. So the mesh can also get the velocity vector and any other vector it needs to. You can see here all these guys, they have proper velocity vector that we can use for motion blur. And I can lower this to 0.1, which will give us more details on the mesh, and obviously we have to increase this to get a lot more details within the sim. Now something I always do is to peak this geometry a tiny bit, and this will push it along the inverse normal, and it will make it basically, it will make it like that, which will add a lot more details to the geometry. but we have to be careful with the amount. Now this is a very low res mesh, and it took only 4 minutes for to catch 100 frames. How much points do we have? 3. So I would definitely go, if we wanted to get something high res, I would need 20 million points or more, and I think the resolution is fine here. Maybe we can go 1.6 or 1.5 on the grid scale to get more volume resolution, and I think that's pretty much it. In the next video, we're going to start looking at the actual scene and how to set it up, and how to control the various settings to create high-res sim, and then we'll go from there. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in a bit.